What's up, everybody? Average Zeus here, back with another God or Goddess Borderlands 3 video. The one that we got on for the ticket right now is going to be our Mozeaccre. The reason I'm calling her Mozeaccre is because you're going to be doing so much damage, you're just going to be basically like a massacre. Pun intended. With that being said, we're just going to head on over. We're going to go over the gear real quick. This, more or less, is going to be a nerf of my previous Moze that I made. I made Elemental Mayhem, you know, where you match up all the elements, Harmless Havoc. It's going to make everything coincide. It's going to make it where you do crazy damage output. This one I actually didn't do that time. I more or less nerfed my original build. This is more of just ease of access. Is more of like a casual type player, you know. It's still really fun. If you get too close, you will down yourself. But otherwise, this is a lot of fun. I had a blast. And in all honesty, I'm like, it's probably... I don't know, that one and the other Moas, I'm like, they hit like a truck. You know, they just do so much raw damage, and I love every minute of it. First off, we do ×3 Unkempt Heralds. Consecutive hits is going to be for every single one of the rolls. All right, if you guys are unfamiliar with the Unkempt Herald, whenever you're going to pull out and you're going to shoot it, everybody should pretty much know what the Unkempt Herald is. It's really big in Borderlands 2. All right, but it's going to shoot out pellets, and as those pellets go out, you're going to get more damage as those pellets are going to hit. Next we're going to be going with is the Free Radical. Free Radical is just a Molly 1 pistol. Literally probably one of the best pistols that Moze has that you can use for Moze. Super fun, super overpowered. This thing just breaks things. So this one in the Plasma Coil, use this, you're going to be fighting the big orb guys on the Guardian takedown. And the Plasma Coil and the Free Radical are just to get out of fight for your life whenever I use them. They still are very good weapons. They still like do a crap ton of damage. I don't really use them. I use the Heralds more. I have the Beacon. The Beacon is a lot of fun. It more or less kind of, you can flip-flop between two different like things of, you can shoot. Obviously you're saying you can go between radiation and go between cryo. It's super fun. The only downside of that is you have to watch where you're standing, because the bottom little text right there, reloading triggers a nova of the current element. So whatever elements you have applied, when you reload it, you're going to trigger that, you're going to blow yourself up. And all these weapons are very good because they all coincide with doing some sort of splash damage to boost up all of like Moze's kind of skills and everything to get more of a damage output. The Chaosins, so I love the Chaosins. A lot of people don't. They're kind of like iffy with them. Moze, I feel like I got a little stingy and I kind of got hooked up a little bit. I use a ×2 variant. If you want to use a ×1, it's going to be able to keep more of your ammo in your inventory, but the only downside is it's going to shred a lot of things, and then you just have to constantly reload over and over again. It just depends on like what you want to do. If you want to go ×1, you're gonna lose damage, obviously, but you're still gonna get a decent amount of damage. But you're gonna be able to keep your magazine up faster and keep it up higher. So I have all elements, so the Herald and then the Chaosin. I have all the elements for that one, and they're all in the ×2 variant. Every single one of the anoints that I pretty much have is consecutive hits, except for one of the Kibsworth. I have the rocket pods on there just in case you want to rock rocket pods and do something else. I have Kibsworths. Kibsworths are kind of hit or miss on this one. They do really, really well, and sometimes they're kind of like okay. They're super fun. I use them all the time. These ones are going to shoot out. They're going to kind of basically do like just think of like a trident, and then the final target's going to be like the centerpiece of the trident. Both these are really crazy on Moze. Obviously, you know, like the Plasma Coil is the better variant of the Kibsworth. Kibsworth was before that, so I tried to have a little bit of homage because I never really used a Kibsworth before, and I'm really enjoying it. Ember's Purge. Ember's Purge is amazing. This thing just absolutely decimates so much stuff. It is so fun. And you don't even need to have the ASC splash damage on it to be able to get decent enough damage. Just have consecutive hits, and Moze just takes it in her hands, and she just does wonders. I got two different variations of the Flipper. So that's the other one. After Axicalin, get him 60% splash damage. Don't worry about that anointment. I'm going to re-roll that to get consecutive hits for there. I was just trying to have more than one element. So a lot of the ones that I have, because that's the way the Flipper's getting held at, you know. I got corrosive, and I got fire, and I got cryo, and I got corrosive. So doesn't really matter. If you want to have a radiation and a cryo one, that would probably be my main, and I'll get rid of all the rest of them. And then I have Plasma Coil. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy Plasma Coil. I think it's a super overpowered, super broken weapon. I just don't really like the way it shoots. It kind of just peppers little balls all over the place, and then, you know, it does a crap ton of damage, but I don't know, just the shooting and like the reloading, and then, you know, it shows the mag has like 80 or whatever in it, but when you're shooting, I don't know. Anyways, you can use a Plasma Coil if you want. If you want to rock just a Plasma Coil and drop the Flipper, the Ember's Purge, the Kibsworth, if you were like, I don't even want to play with any of those, the Chaosin, then Plasma Coil is going to be the way to go. If you want to experiment and do some other weapons, these are the weapons that I would recommend. Soul Renders, of course. Gotta love the soul renders. I have every single element of the soul render. All of them are going to be consecutive hits. They're pretty self-explanatory. Whenever you don't have a skull, like going out and like hitting somebody and like dealing that splash damage, you're not going to get that much damage. So basically what you have to do is you have to play the waiting game to wait for a soul to actually go out and like spawn and hit an enemy. I have a reflux. You don't really need a reflux on this one. I just had it just for Guardian. Some of this stuff that I have on is just for Guardian. If you want to get rid of a lot of this stuff, feel free to. Guardian Angel on my last previous one that I recorded, I ended up screwing up the Guardian Angel. I didn't have the right annulment on it. So we got one with gain 150 over 90 on there. Guardian Angel. This one's bladed. Doesn't really matter. You're still going to get a decent enough damage output. Hellwalker. So Hellwalker is really nice too. Consecutive hits. Obviously, everybody knows that Hellwalker is always going to drop as a god roll because that's what it's fixed to. So you really don't have to worry about that as long as you get one. I've gotten so many world drop Hellwalkers, it's not even funny. And I think it's one of the best shotguns. You know, it's just a blast. So Plague Bearers. Plague Bear is just going to be for bosses. So after exiting Iron Bear, kills increase Iron Bear cooldown rate by 30%. Infernal Wish with double amp. Everybody pretty much, it feels like, has the nose of trick now, you know. Slide forward with a toboggan on. Slide forward, shoot, swap over to Guardian Angel, watch as the health just disintegrates. Bloodletter class mods. Both of these are save edited. So the +5, I actually got myself doing Guardian Takedown. I got that legitly getting the +5. I rerolled the passives. It was not splash damage radius, splash damage, weapon damage. It was something else when I got it. Anyways, with the +5 on the Phalanx Doctrine, you're going to get more damage. We're going to go over that whenever you hit it in the skill trees. Right now, we're not going to worry about that. So we got Rocketeer. Rocketeer, more or less. Auto Bear now lasts the duration the Iron Bear had left. So hop inside Iron Bear, hop back out, and then set him up in a strategic place while you're doing Molly 1 takedown, Guardian takedown. So more or less the enemies are going to be aggroed. Cub is a lot of fun, but he lasts only for a certain amount of time. And like the splinters are really fun too. But I've realized that it seems like whenever you have like Rocketeer and Iron Bear out, the enemies are going to aggro more towards Iron Bear than if you just had Cub. So if you just want, just for charging the crystals phase, everything, so just for crystals, Rocketeer, as soon as you get down to the crystal phase, swap back over to the Bloodletter class mod, you're going to be set. You don't really need anything else, and this all does decent enough damage. So just boosting magazine size, grenade capacity, and SMG damage. Minesweeper is literally just around just to get the heavy damage boost up. I have 3 Fire in the Skag Den, 2 in Tor Cross Emotion. That one doesn't really matter if you like super crazy about it, but that one literally just swap on over, slide forward, shoot. In all honesty, with me actually getting the right roll for the Guardian, we might test that out just for 1 second, but I'm like, I should be able to just one-shot some of the bosses. But for some of those ones that have like a tankier health bar, you know, or some of the enemies that are kind of annoying and like to move around a lot, so like the Trial of Discipline, super annoying enemy to move around, and then the Hag of Fervor, just because they're so tanky. Cut Purse, Victory Rush. The only reason I have this on is just to get ammo back. If you don't want to cut purse, drop it on the floor. Doesn't really bother me. I've gotten so many cut purse, like launch pads and cut purses in general, that I don't even know what to do with them. So I'm just throwing them on random builds here and there if I notice there's like an ammo thing. You should pretty much shred everything so you don't have to worry about like needing ammo and all that stuff or running out of ammo. You're going to go through everything. You're going to destroy everything. This is just on as like a buffer because this is even like a good one. This is just Cut Burst, Victory Rush. Next one's Hulk and Toboggan. Gain a protective bubble on your slide. Your next shot consumes the bubble and gains amp damage. So you're going to slide, shoot, swap over to Guardian. Pretty sure it's pretty self-explanatory here. So, Trevinator. Hellwalker, Trevinator. All those weapons are very, very fun. I personally like the Trevinator a lot myself. I like the way it shoots. I like what it does. I like the damage output that you can get from it. If you're not really finding the Trevinator for yourself, then you can throw on like a lob or something, do like a kill with a wisp. Just do different weapons. I know I said kill with the wisp, but I'm like, basically all the Molly 1 type weapons are going to do like splash damage and stuff are really going to work well on this. I've realized that Cryo does a little bit more damage, it seems like, than Fire does. And I feel like it's just because this game likes to throw a whole bunch of enemies at you that are Fire, which is a little annoying, but it happens. So, First Aid Revolter. I literally just have the Revolter just so I can get the extra skill start whenever I throw out Iron Cub. And then while I'm getting that active, you're going to get that 200% bonus shock damage. You're going to get that increased fire rate. The other thing, too, which is really nice is when you're using Iron Cub and the way that Moze like kind of works out is you're actually going to keep those Revolter stacks even as you're going. And then all you got to do is wait for your shield to break. And then you're going to get those stacks even more. So either way, pretty fun. Cloning Maddening Tracker, obviously. either recurring hex or a cloning maddening tracker. Recurring hex would be really fun too. I use cloning maddening tracker because it's just not elemental. I have on grenade throw. You can do extra skill on like Iron Bear back. You can do, if you want to have like ASE like radiation, you want to have ASE cryo or whatever, you're just gonna need more than one cloning maddening tracker, so that's why I just threw this on. If you want to have more than one element just to swap, you know, between a couple elements as you're getting those enemies that are going to be resistant to you, because everybody knows that not all the enemies, like I think radiation only has one enemy that's resistant to, so radiation definitely a good one to go to, and then you can like throw on cryo or something. You're basically with Moze, she's always going to do passive fire damage, so you don't have to worry about throwing on something like that. You're going to get shocked from the revolter, so all you're really going to need is like radiation or cryo. And then I use the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge, increase magazine size, regenerate for the health, and then obviously you can get up to 9% bonus damage if you can get your consecutive hits. With that being said, we're going to head over. We're going to go into the skill tree. So first one that I go into is I do Cloud of Lead. Occasionally, Moze and Iron Bear shots will deal bonus incinerate damage and won't consume ammo. So every fourth shot won't consume ammo, and then you're basically going to do passive 11.25% of fire damage. Increases Moze and Iron Bear's incinerate damage, so we're going to get 30% bonus incinerate damage. The only time really that I've ever rocked something like incinerate based or even used an incinerate type weapon or anything is only when you're fighting the anointed enemies. The anointed enemies are extremely annoying. Thankfully, with how powerful this build is, you can just rock cryo and you can still decimate their health. I'll show kind of like what I'm talking about. I'll show like everything and all that jazz, and it's definitely going to help out. After I score a code a hit, I gain ammo and health regeneration for a few seconds. So you're going to get plus 5% of your magazine back, which is going to be very little. And then you're going to get health regeneration up to 2.5% health back. And it's going to last for 3 seconds, and you more or less just got to wait. After each critical hit you're going to be getting, got to wait for that 3 seconds, you're going to keep getting it back. It's not a skill that stacks, but 3 seconds, you basically can get that back, especially if you have some really good accuracy. I don't. So Scrappy. While moving, my weapon damage, handling, weapon swap speed, and mode switch speed are increased. So my weapon damage is going to be better. It's going to be up to 30% better while I'm moving. I'm going to have better handling, so better accuracy, better handling, you know. Weapon swap speed, so if I want to swap to a different weapon, I'm going to have 48.7% faster, and then if I'm switching between like the different elements on like some sort of like weapon. I do 1 in the Scorching RPMs. Whenever I score a critical, I gain increased fire and critical hit damage, and then Iron Bear gains that as well. Gains increased hardpoint damage. Only plus 3% fire rate, plus 4% critical hit, and Iron Bear gets plus 5. This is literally just to go down and get Specialist Bear. If you don't want Specialist Bear, you can throw on Russian Offensive, and you can do Daka Bear. The only reason that I get Specialist Bear is when I'm running a Rocketeer class mod, and you have Iron Bear going on. Iron Bear is going to get 60% bonus damage when you have both of the same railguns on. And I like to do the railguns because they're going to splinter between enemies, and it's going to make your life a lot easier whenever you get like a big wave of enemies like on the Guardian takedown. So big surplus, we're going to put our action skill on Cub. Cub's pretty self-explanatory. You can just read what he does. Cub does get the same exact things as Iron Bear does, just so you guys know, like a lot of the things they're going to show, Cub is going to get them. I don't know everything, but he gets a lot of the same things. Iron Cub can equip 2 of whatever weapon is equipped in the remaining action skill slot. Iron Cub is going to follow Nose and target enemies and attack enemies for the duration. Skills that affect Iron Bear affect Iron Cub. Iron Cub will still use fuel, but less fuel of it, and deals less damage because it's smaller. And then we're going to have big surplus. So while you're cooling down, you're going to do bonus incinerary damage. The cool thing about this, and so with big surplus, while you're in action skill cooldown, or while you're waiting for Iron Cub to come back, or Iron Bear, depending, you're going to be doing 15% bonus gun damage. Okay, and you guys are like, 15%, that's not that big of a deal. Well, the cool thing is actually a mayhem scaled skill. So that 50% actually is going to go up to 525%. So as you're waiting for Iron Cub to come back, you're going to be doing 525% bonus damage on top of what you're already doing. And the cool thing is I got short fuse going on. So with short fuse and big surplus, if you can get them to hit at the same exact time, you're more or less just going to be one-shotting a lot of enemies, and then you can have overkill going on. You can have a whole bunch of things. It makes it a lot of fun, makes it a blast. Actually, before I get way too ahead of myself, if you feel like your ammo is not coming back fast enough, throw on Terror ammo regen. You're not going to lose much damage from consecutive hits. Consecutive hits, yes, but I'm like, with how the skill tree works, you're going to be doing so much damage anyways that you you have the ability to just mess around and do whatever the hell you want. If you want to do tear ammo regen because you're realizing that you're not getting your stuff back and you want to have ammo and you're sick and tired of going to vendors to buy stuff, throw tear ammo regen. You're not going to lose that much damage. If you do, it's going to be like 0.5%, and it's not really going to be much to register if you're losing something from the consecutive hits. So I do +5 out of 5 and fire than skag den. Whenever I deal splash damage, I'm also going to be doing bonus incinerate damage. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really have to explain anything like that. Whenever you're going to be doing splash damage, you're going to get 50% bonus on top of that splash damage you're already dealing. I think some of these are mayhem scaled. I don't know them. If anybody knows in the comments, let me know. So whenever I make future builds, I have them down, so I'm not giving you guys any false information or anything. Whenever Moze deals splash damage, there's a chance to add ammo to a currently equipped weapons magazine with a smaller chance to return a grenade. Pretty self-explanatory. Whenever you're doing splash damage, you're going to have a 10% chance to get your ammo back, as well as a 6% chance to get a grenade back. Sometimes you notice it, sometimes you don't. I never really pay attention to what my magazine side is unless I'm reloading, which I feel like that's how everybody is. So I do 5 out of 5 in torque cross motion. All splash damage dealt by Moze has a chance to double in size. So you're going to get 50% chance to double your splash radius. So you can have it go up from, like, let's say it's 25. It could shoot up to, I'm not very good at math. Hold on. It's 15. It can go up to 30. I'm not very good at math. I've said this several times. Additionally, Moze and Iron Bear deal increased splash damage. So already what your raw damage is going to be, you're going to do 30% bonus splash damage on top of that. I do Auto Bear. Auto Bear is literally just for Rocketeer. If you don't have Auto Bear and you're trying to rock Rocketeer, you're going to be very let down because without Auto Bear, Iron Bear is just going to keep going down. He'll last for like 20 seconds after you hop out, or even like 10, 15 seconds. Instantly is going to die. So Auto Bear is definitely going to be what you need for Rocketeer. And all that is after Moze exits Iron Bear will remain deployed in place for a short amount of time. Moze's grenades have a chance to score a critical hit, dealing greatly increased critical hit damage. Pull the Holy Pin, you get a 30% chance for a critical hit. Chuck some grenades out, have a blast. There's not really much else that I need to explain for that. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to get a chance to score a critical hit. I do 3 in a Vampire. Whenever Moze deals damage to an enemy with a thrown grenade, I get a chance to store 12% of my health missing. Iron Bear receives half this bonus, so basically Cub. Gain the ability to throw grenades all and fight for your life. That's really fun. The other thing too is I always forget. If you remember more than I do, make sure to snag that skill. Okay, I'm just kidding. Make sure to grab that skill. It's super fun. It really makes your fight for your life extend longer while you're chucking the grenades out. So like sometimes you'll be like at the very bottom. You'll be like, oh, I'm literally dead, you know, and you'll chuck out one of the grenades and it'll shoot it instantly back up because it's basically just doing damage over time to the other enemy. So it's registering as that. It's registering as that fight for your life bonus. I do 4 into Stainless Steel Bear just to get down to short fuse. If you don't want to do Stainless Steel Bear, you don't have to, but that's just going to increase maximum fuel for Iron Bear armor, and Iron Bear damage. If you want to do 3 to get more grenades, and you want to increase your carry capacity from, I believe it's 13. Yeah, if you want to increase it up to 16, you more than certainly can. I personally don't really throw grenades that much. I'll throw a couple out, you know, I won't really use them as much. I need to throw them out a little bit more, but you don't really need to toss out grenades. Even with that grenade on grenade throw, you get those increases, that 25%. It helps, but it's not something that I really need. So I do 4 in there. Capstone with short fuse. If you want to do deadlines to have Iron Cup drain less fuel, you can. If you want to do grizzled, so the only issue is if you're using grizzled and you get kill skill, you're gonna get more action skill cooldown time. You're gonna have less time for you to be able to apply big surplus than if you didn't get any cooldown. That's why I decided to go Stainless Steel Bear. So if anything, I would say go, why can't I carry all these grenades? I would say Stainless Steel Bear, or I would say deadlines, or just throw one other point at a Vampire. You really don't need that much of a crazy amount of health missing. You're going to have a nice ratio of killing everything, but that's what we're going to get. And then short fuse. So your gun damage has a chance for a secondary explosion on the target. So you get a 20% secondary explosion chance and 50% of the gun damage. One of the cool things is like for weapons like the flipper, you know, some of those other ones that shoot like multiple pellets, one of those pellets that's going to go out has a chance of proc short fuse. And then the other cool thing, which is a lot of fun, is if you're using a single pellet weapon, every single time you're going to reload, you're going to shoot that single pellet weapon. Like every single time you're going to go through like your little reload animation. So you're going to shoot all your little short fuse pellets out. And this is just a single shot, single pellet weapon. So this is going to be like a sniper rifle, a Chaosin, you know, Some of those weapons that just shoot single pellets. It's not going to be something crazy like the Monarch or, you know, like the Herald because it shoots multiple pellets. But I'm like, one of those pellets from the Herald can get a short fuse proc. One of those pellets that you're going to be doing from the Chaosins, you're going to shoot one of those pellets out. That first pellet from your shot, after you reload, that's going to proc short fuse, and that's going to be 525% bonus, like splash damage. That's a Mayhem skill on top of your damage that you're already doing. So just think, just kaboom. All right. And sometimes you're going to be able to see it. Sometimes I haven't, obviously, you know, with how much screen pollution and everything else is in here, you can never really see the short fuse like proc actually hit. But you would just see like the health bar just go. And that's just kind of a mix of everything coinciding and like hitting together. For this one, I do railguns. And then I do security bear. Only reason I do security bear is Selfless Vengeance. Every single time you reload, you're going to take away your health. You're going to do bonus incendiary damage. We already got Cloud of Lead that's doing bonus incendiary. We already got Stoke the Embers that does bonus incendiary. We don't really need bonus incendiary that much. And then we got Fire in the Skag Den. One of the biggest reasons that I enjoy Moze, and I think she's one of my favorite characters. Obviously, all of Vault Hunters are all your favorite characters. The only thing I've realized is when you're using something that's the same as like element, or using something that's like the opposite element type, Moze does so much passive fire damage. It sometimes when you're fighting a fire enemy, the enemy is going to be resistant. So you'll have to like do a little swapping or do a little of this, do a little of that, or wait until your action skills are all going to be ending so you can like get that less amount of fire damage you're going to be doing. Or sometimes you can just push right through it and you can just decimate them because you're going to have all that splash damage and all that damage hitting at the same exact time. Sometimes I just feel like having too much incendiary damage isn't really going to do me much good considering there's so many enemies that are weakened by it. Basically, you're going to bubble shield that reduces damage taken. The shield's going to deactivate if you take too much damage, pretty much like Barrier on Zane. And then Iron Cub's going to get 50% damage reduction, and then Iron Bear is going to get max health and added as shields, 50%. I do 5 out of 5 in Armored Infantry, so basically while your shield is full, you're going to get increased gun damage and gun damage reduction, so up to 50% gun damage, 13% damage, or damage reduction. This is more or less like you're going to do more damage if your shield's up. If as soon as it gets hit, you're going to do less damage, but you're already doing so much damage as it is. It's not really a damage number that you're going to notice. This is more or less just to tick down to get Phalanx Doctrine. So if you don't really care and you want to go Selfless Vengeance to get more incendiary damage, go right ahead. Drowning in Brass. Kill skill. So killing an enemy grants Moze a stack of Drowning in Brass. Fire rate is reduced, but gun damage is increased for both her and her allies. So this has a chance to stack 3 times. So you can get up to 60% bonus gun damage on top of your damage that you're already doing. And then you can get up to 7.5% less fire rate. You got Scorching RPMs to kind of mitigate both of those things. You got Scorching RPMs to mitigate the fire rate. You don't really notice it that much. You're still gonna do a crazy amount of damage. But that can stack up to 3 times, and then it's going to last for 15 seconds. Experimental munitions, whenever you score a critical hit, they're going to do bonus incendiary damage. Me or Iron Bear is. So you're going to get 50% bonus incendiary damage. That's what I was saying. Like, Selfless Vengeance is, like, fun. It is good, but we're not really going to need it because you're already doing so much passive, you know, with all the skills you got going on at the same exact time. Full can of whoop butt. Entering Iron Bear causes Moze and her allies to immediately begin recharging at an increased shield recharge rate. Hopping into Iron Bear, automatically start recharging your shields if your shield is really low, or summoning Iron Cub, you can be able to get the same exact effect. I do 5 into Vladoff Ingenuity, so you need to get some points to tick down to get Phalanx Doctrine. Thin Red Line would be good if you're trying to go for a Deathless build, but then your survivability is going to be cut in half. So I do Vladoff Ingenuity. So I get maximum shield and shield recharge rates, and then I'm getting resistance to shock damage. So you're going to get 20% bonus shield recharge rate, 30% max shield, and you're going to get 47% shock damage resistance. And then I do 2 into Behind the Iron Curtain, plus 22% shield recharge rate, minus 21% shield recharge delay. And then I do plus 5 out of 5 in Phalanx Doctrine. So kill skill. After killing an enemy, Moan gains a stack of Phalanx Doctrine. For every stack of Phalanx Doctrine, her maximum shield and gun damage are increased. Each stack lasts 30 seconds. There's no stack limit. Depending on how many enemies you have, I think one of the biggest ones that I was getting was 19. So if you can get up to 19 stacks, you're going to get 190% bonus damage. You get 14 stacks, you're going to get 140% bonus damage. This is never going to end. It's going to last for 30 seconds. So depending on how much like mobbing you're going to be getting, you basically can just keep stacking and stacking your damage. And the cool thing is you can actually get more of a damage stack, because with my plus 5 out of 5 in Phalanx Doctrine, it's actually going to turn that up to 20%. So then you're going to get a 20% damage boost. You got to think, with big surplus going on whenever you're in cooldown, that's 525% bonus damage you're getting, as well as having a chance to proc one of the short fuses. So you're more or less right off the gate, if you have big surplus and short fuse going off, if both of them are hitting at the same exact time, that's already 1,050 damage you're getting. And then depending on if you get, then you can get 190% bonus damage. You can get almost 1,200 bonus damage just running around like a little maniac. I know I said this is a nerfed version of my build, but it's still super overpowered. Only downside is you're going to down yourself a little bit, but other than that, I really don't have much else to explain. So we're just going to head right in. We're going to go do a little bit of the trials and stuff. We're going to show off this build a little bit. I'm try using some different weapons and stuff. I'm going to get my mic, play some music in the background. Yeah, this build is literally done.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
With that being done, this is Mozeaccre Moze. If you guys want the game save for this, it's going to be labeled in my Discord below. All you got to do is just join in and then snide the game save if you're on PC. Keyword if you're on PC. If you guys like the build, appreciate if you guys hit that like button. Also appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button. At the moment, my stream schedule is a little messed up. I usually stream Tuesday through Friday is my actual official stream schedule. I'm probably going to start doing some Monday night streams whenever I get off work, so that'll be a little fun. I've been kind of doing questions. Last one I asked was the nature thing. I have not finished. I haven't uploaded the last YouTube video, so we're just going to get some comments, and then as I'm progressing and as I'm uploading more, because I still have a few more builds we're going to do. We at least have, I think, 22 more builds to go, and I'm like I think I'm on like 12, so we have a lot more to do. Well, the next one I was going to ask is, what is your guys' favorite weapons from the Borderlands series of all time? All right, just an end question. I don't know how many people are actually going to read this, but leave a comment below. I'll let you guys kind of know. So my favorite weapon was the Slag Conference Call, because it was the first legendary I ever got from a warrior drop, and then I just ended up loving it. I was actually playing on Krieg. It was the first legendary I've ever gotten in the game. I don't know how. I played Zero and I played Maya, and somehow I never got a legendary, but whenever I rocked Krieg, because I remember that thing would just decimate things. And the other one that I really like, which is going to have to be my second favorite, is going to have to be the Florentine. I know a lot of people don't really like that SMG, but being able to do shock and slag at the same exact time is impossibilities. But catch you guys on the next one. This is going to be my Mozeaccre for my God and Goddesses builds. All right. Peace out.